Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Yuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi-Lila, Chapter 3. The external reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Text 88 and 89. Which is on the board. Apuna lukaite Krishna nana jatna kare. Tatapi tahara bhakta janayeta Hare. Apuna lukaite Krishna nana jatna kare. Tathapi tahara bhakta janayeta Hare. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Sri Krishna tries to hide himself in various ways, but nevertheless his pure devotees know him as he is. Text 89. Ullangita trividha sima samatishayi Sambhavanam tava parivradhimasvabhavam Maya balena bhavatapi niguhyamanam Pashyanti kechidanisham tvadananya bhavaha Ullangita trividha sima samatishayi Sambhavanam tava parivradhimapsvabhavam Maya balena bhavatapi niguhyamanam Pashyanti kechidanishan tvadananya bhavaha. Anyone? Mataji's, anyone? Ullangita, passed over. Trividha, three kinds. Sima, the limitations. Sama, of equal. Atishayi, Atishayi, and of excelling. Sambhavanam, by which the adequacy. Tava, your. Parivradhima, of supremacy. Svabhavam, the real nature. Maya balena, by the strength of the illusory energy. Bhavata, your. Api, although. Niguhyamanam, being hidden. Pashyanti, they see. Kechit, some. Anisham, always. Tvat, to you. Ananya bhavaha, those who are exclusively devoted. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O my Lord, everything within material nature is limited by time, space, and thought. Your characteristics, however, being unequaled and unsurpassed, are always transcendental to such limitations. You sometimes cover such characteristics by your own energy, but nevertheless, your unalloyed devotees are always able to see you under all circumstances. Purport. This verse is also quoted from Stotra Ratna of Yamunacharya. Everything is covered by the influence of Maya, is within the limited boundaries of space, time, and thought. Even the greatest manifestation we can conceive, the sky, also has limitations. From the authentic scriptures, however, it is evident that beyond the sky is a covering of 7 layers, each 10 times thicker than the one preceding it. The covering layers are vast, but with or without coverings, space is limited. Our power to think about space and time is also limited. Time is eternal. We may imagine billions and trillions of years, but that will still be an inadequate estimate of the extent of time. Our imperfect senses, therefore, cannot think of the greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nor can we bring Him within the limitations of time or our thinking power. His position is accordingly described by the word Ullangita. He is transcendental to space, time, and thought. although he appears within them. He exists transcendentally. Even when the Lord's transcendental existence is disguised by space, time, and thought, however, pure devotees of the Lord can see him in his personal features, beyond space, time, and thought. In other words, even though the Lord is not visible to the eyes of ordinary men, those who are beyond the covering layers because of their transcendental devotional service can still see him. The sun may appear covered by a cloud, but actually it is the eyes of the tiny people below the cloud that are covered, not the sun. If those tiny people rose above the cloud in an airplane, they could then see the sunshine and the sun without impediment. Similarly, although the covering of Maya is very strong, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita, chapter 4, chapter 7, text 14, Daivihi esha gunamai mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. To surpass the influence of the illusory energy is very difficult. But those who are determined to catch hold of the lotus feet of the Lord are freed from the clutches of Maya. Therefore, pure devotees can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But demons, because of their miscreant behavior, cannot understand the Lord in spite of seeing the many revealed scriptures and the uncommon activities of the Lord. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratvishe Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Premapumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhormatamidam Tatradara na Paraha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna. I am very happy to be back in SriRadhaRasbihari Mandir, although it has happened by Krishna's arrangement at the last minute. Today is the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit class. The topic is the external reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has been giving a background to the appearance of the Lord in this very extraordinary form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He mentions that in the scriptures as well as through the exhibition of very uncommon activities, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has proven that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, there are those who are without faith, who do not accept this, and who think that he is just an ordinary man. Srila Prabhupada in the purport explains that even though when something is sometimes visible, it is not visible to those whose eyes are covered. He gives the example of a cloudy sky. When there are dense clouds in the sky, we may not be able to see clearly the sun or even the sunlight. However, it is not the sun that is covered, but it is our vision, our eyesight that is covered by the clouds. So in the same way, it is the vision of faithless people that is covered, because of which they are not able to understand the Supreme Lord even when He appears in front of their own eyes. So it has been explained in these two verses. Lord Krishna tries to hide himself in various ways. Apano lukaite. Lukaite means to hide. Krishna nana jatna kare. That means he tries various things to hide himself. Yatna refers to effort. So Krishna puts in great effort to hide himself, to not reveal himself as God to everybody. Tathapi, still, tahara bhakta janay tahare. His devotees are able to recognize him. Despite Krishna's best efforts to hide himself, the devotees are able to recognize him as the Supreme Lord, but the non-devotees are not able to recognize him. Why so? Because where there is love, there is an intimate understanding of the personality of Godhead. Automatically the devotee will recognize. One time one devotee was giving the example that there was a Grihastha couple, young couple, who were acting in a drama, in a devotional drama. And they were on the stage. And that couple had a small child who was sitting with the grandparents in the audience. When the child saw many people coming on the stage, she didn't say anything. But then she saw her mother, who was actually disguised in some form. She was playing some role. So she was covered and she was dressed in various ways to suit the character that she was portraying on stage. So many people didn't even recognize who this could be. But the child immediately recognized and shouted the name of for mother from the audience. So the entire audience burst out into laughter. So many in the audience may not have recognized the mother on the stage because she had changed her appearance so much that they couldn't recognize her. But the child was able to recognize her because of that relationship of love. So similarly, the devotees, due to their love for Krishna, are able to recognize him despite the various forms that he may appear in, and despite the fact that he may take great pains, great efforts to disguise himself as an ordinary person or as a human being. Avajananti mam mudha manusham tanamashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. So as Krishna says, that those who are in ignorance do not understand me, they cannot recognize me who am the Lord of everything, because their eyes are covered with the curtain of Maya, of illusion. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the very first canto, the sages of Naimisharanya are engaged in a conversation with Suta Goswami. And they ask him, "My dear sage, we have many questions, but above all we are concerned about understanding the activities and pastimes of Krishna. Kritavan kila karmani saha ramena keshava ati martyani bhagavan gudha kapatamanushaha." So they say that, "O great sage, Kritavan kila karmani," what kind of activities kila Kritavan did perform? Karmani means activities. So Kritavan kila karmani, what kind of activities did they perform? Who? Saha Ramena Keshava. Keshava is Krishna, but he came Saha Ramena. He came with Ram or Balaram. So Krishna came with Balaram together. So what kind of activities did they perform? Ati Martyani Bhagavan. Ati Martyani, Martya refers to the abode of death. That is the earth planet specifically, the material world. And the people residing on this Martya Loka are also called Martya. So Ati Martyani, Ati means beyond human power. So Ati Martyani indicates superhuman. So karmani, the activities of Ram and Krishna, Balaram and Krishna, were atimartya. So they were superhuman. Bhagavan and Keshava is Bhagavan, so is Balaram. Gudha kapata manushaha. So Gudha implies it was covered, it was secret. Kapata manusha, kapata indicates apparently. So Krishna and Balaram appeared on this planet apparently looking like disguised as human beings. Of course, their form was just like any other human being because that is their original form. So it is not that Krishna appears like a human being, it is the human beings who appear like Krishna. The human beings are made roughly in the same form as Krishna, although of course there is a great deal of difference in the two types of forms. So in any case, the sages have asked this very important question, or they make this important comment, because it is important to see that even though Krishna may be appearing in various forms and hiding his identity, masking himself as a human being, he appears within human society, but he is not a human being. Not only is he not an ordinary human being, he is not even an extraordinary human being. He is not a human being. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport there, very nice purport to this verse in the first canto, he says that despite the fact that Krishna came disguised in human society, appearing by his words and actions to be like any other human child, great saints and sages recognized him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as indicated in the revealed scriptures. Srila Prabhupada goes on to say, however, there are unscrupulous people who have created their own incarnations, and these incarnations, these so-called incarnations, are actually not the true personality of Godhead at all. And especially Srila Prabhupada says when they are endowed or equipped with some tiny mystic power and they display that, they are declared to be an incarnation by popular vote. So many people who are ignorant of spiritual truths, they look at some very tiny, insignificant mystic power displayed by some human being, like somebody walking on water or producing some gold, and they all start claiming that this person must be God. And because a few people start claiming that, and people see this display of opulence or mystic power, and they all start agreeing, yes, 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 this is God. So this is what Prabhupada means when he says that these people are declared to be God by popular vote. But God is not to be understood by democracy. God is to be understood only by the teachings of the Shastra, as revealed by the great sages who are living embodiments of the Shastra. So Srila Prabhupada goes on to say that Krishna is not a God like that, who was elected by popular vote of ignorant people. He was the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the very beginning of his pastimes. First of all, he appeared in a four-armed form in front of his mother Devaki and father Vasudeva, and immediately to pacify his mother, he converted himself into a two-armed baby form, a human-like form. And then he continued his pastimes by moving to Gokul, where he accepted Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda as his parents. And there also he performed many extraordinary pastimes. Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna exhibited his divinity from the very lap of his mother. For example, he killed the great demoness Putana. So all the deeds of Krishna, all the activities of Krishna are superhuman. And he gives the example of Krishna lifting the Govardhan hill at age 7 only. So all these activities, Srila Prabhupada says, prove that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada has mentioned here two characteristics by which we can understand whether somebody is an incarnation or not. The first thing is the indication in the revealed scriptures. That means it must be predicted beforehand that a particular avatar of the Lord is going to appear and that these are going to be his characteristics and activities. Secondly, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that he must exhibit such uncommon activities that is not possible for human beings to do, whether these human beings are powerful or not so powerful. And one may add other characteristics or requirements which Srila Prabhupada has mentioned elsewhere. In addition to these two, the third being that he must display his Virat Roop, the universal form, and also that he must display the bodily symptoms as described in the scriptures. Specifically, there are certain marks on his lotus palms and on his lotus feet, the soles of his feet, and also the proportions of his bodily limbs must be of a certain kind. It's called Nyagrodha Paraman, Parimandala. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami says that. So, Krishna's appearance as the Supreme Personality of Godhead may be bewildering to the non-devotees, but it is not bewildering to the devotees. Well, actually, even the devotees get bewildered because it is beyond their intelligence to understand. But because of their devotion, they are able to accommodate all these extraordinary features of the Lord within their mind. So, we see that when audio is not clear. Hare Krishna. You are able to hear now? So you couldn't hear anything? Nothing? Okay. How many heard nothing? Just raise your hand so far. Okay. Because of the rain. So Srila Prabhupada continues in that purport to say that Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda in Vrindavan, in Gokul, did not accept Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whenever Krishna performed some Herculean tasks which were truly bewildering, they thought otherwise, Prabhupada says. Otherwise means that they didn't think that he was God. And very quickly, their astonishment was converted into very deep parental affection for Krishna. So they continue to think of Krishna as their son. They remain very satisfied in that mood. So the sages of Naimisharanya are now inquiring this, and they want to know more about Krishna, who has appeared in the garb of a human being, masked. So, in the second verse of today, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has quoted from the Stotra Ratnavali of Yamunacharya, where he speaks about Trividha Sima. Sima means a boundary or limitation. Trividha means three types of. So all of us conditioned living entities in the material world are limited by three things. We are limited by time, we are limited by space, and we are limited by thought. You are able to hear now? Okay. We are also limited by space, by sound. We are limited in so many ways. We are limited in our capacity to speak, capacity to hear. So space and time essentially limit all that. And thought. There is a limit to our thought. Srila Prabhupada illustrates this point in his purport for today's verse by saying that even though the sky is very vast, it is still limited. The universe is so large, and there are 10 coverings of the universe, and each covering is 10 times larger than the previous covering, but still it is limited. And even this limited universe is beyond the power of our thought, of our comprehension. So therefore, our thinking process also has its limitations. We cannot think beyond a certain limit. So there are many statements from the Shastras that we just accept as they are, because these things are inconceivable. Spiritual truths are actually inconceivable. We may try to understand to whatever degree Krishna empowers our mind and intelligence to understand. But otherwise it is not possible to accommodate Krishna and information and realization of Krishna within the mind. So therefore we are limited by space, time and thought. But Krishna is not limited by anything. He is transcendental to these three limitations. And his personal characteristics, they transcend these limitations. However, sometimes Maya Balena, by the Bala or the power of his Maya Shakti, he covers these qualities. And furthermore, despite him covering these qualities of himself, there are some people, Kechit, who have Tvat Ananya Bhava, who have a heart of one-pointed devotion, pure devotion to Krishna. Pashyanti, they can see Krishna, they can recognize him. So in today's verse, the points that have been made are that we as conditioned living entities are subject to the three limitations of space, time and thought. But Krishna, because of his exceptional qualities and characteristics, is transcendental to these three limitations. The third point in this verse is that despite him being transcendental to space and time, he acts as if he is within space, time and thought. In other words, he imitates ordinary living entities of this world. He disguises himself. He covers himself. And the fourth point is that despite him covering himself in this manner, There are those devotees who have ananya bhava, who have the spirit of pure devotion towards Him. They are able to see Him and recognize Him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, despite the Lord having disguised Himself. So we see that if this is the case with Krishna, it is even more so with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam in connection to Kardama Muni that another name of Lord Vishnu or Krishna is Tri-Yugam or Tri-Yugi. The Lord appeared before Kardama Muni and he is addressed as Tri-Yugi, that is one who appears in Satya, Treta and Dwapar Yugas and who doesn't appear in Kali Yuga. So, however, Prahlad Maharaj has clarified this in his prayers to Lord Narasimhadev by declaring that the Lord is Triyugi. He appears in three yugas, but it is not that he doesn't appear in Kali Yuga. He does appear in Kali Yuga, but as a Channa avatar. Channa refers to hidden. And Srila Prabhupada explains the reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name is not included in the list of Leela avatars given in the first and second cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the reason, he says, is because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Channa avatar, he is a hidden avatar. He does not present himself as God. He disguises his godhood. He comes in the guise of a devotee and presents himself to the world as a devotee. So therefore, his name doesn't appear in the list of Leela avatars. So Srila Rupa Goswami understood this point. Rup and Sanatan Goswamis met Mahaprabhu for the first time when Mahaprabhu was on his way to Vrindavan and he reached Ram Keli. At that time, Rup and Sanatan Goswamis were serving the Nawab of that place. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't go further. He returned to Jagannath Puri from Ram Keli. However, much later, when Rupa Goswami had already left home and he was in Prayag during the month of Magh, the Magh Mela, at that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was returning from Vrindavan. He had managed to go to Vrindavan despite some failed attempts in the past. And he had finally succeeded in going, and after doing parikrama and darshans in Vrindavan, the whole Vrajabhumi, he returned and halted at Prayag. That is where he met Srila Rupa Goswami and instructed him for 10 days at the Dashashvamedh Ghat. And it was at this meeting that Rupa Goswami, having understood the influence and the enormous opulence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in converting large multitudes of people to pure devotion to Krishna, that this is Krishna himself. And therefore he composed the famous verse, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha. So we have all heard this verse, very famous verse. He is offering obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and declaring him to be the Mahavadanya avatar. Vadanya refers to one who is very munificent, very beneficent, very liberal, big-hearted, who wants to do something for the welfare of others. He's offering his respects, Namo. And he's not just Vadanya, he's Mahavadanya. Krishna Prema Pradayate. And his special feature is that he has come to give Krishna Prem to everybody. Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya, so unto that Krishna, Krishna Chaitanya Namane, and he has the name Krishna Chaitanya, and Gauratvashe, unto him who has the Gauratvasha, Tvasha means the complexion, who has a complexion of gold, Te Namaha, I offer my respects to them. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had appeared like a sannyasi, but Rupa Goswami could understand that he is directly Krishna, and not only Krishna, this is such a special form of Krishna in which he is liberal in the extreme, giving love of God to one and all. So Rupa Goswami, being a pure devotee of the Lord, understood, even though the Lord had disguised himself as a sannyasi. Similarly, sometime after that, when Mahaprabhu moved to Varanasi, he met Sanatan Goswami. He resided there for almost 2 months, and he also instructed Sanatan Goswami. And that teaching is called Sanatan Shiksha. His teachings to Rupa Goswami are called Rupa Shiksha. So, in the course of Sanatan Shiksha, Mahaprabhu speaks about the different kinds of avatars, including the Yuga avatar. That in every Yuga, there is an avatar, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. He describes their characteristics. And he mentions certain things about, time does not permit us to go more in detail. He does not elaborate, but he mentions some points about the Yuga avatar. And Srila Prabhupada, in one lecture, and some purports also mentions that now Sanatan Goswami plays a trick on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he was a minister, so he knew how to be diplomatic, the ways of diplomacy. But of course, it is not a diplomacy in a negative sense. But Sanatan Goswami could also understand that it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who was the Yuga avatar. But he wanted to play a trick. So he asked him, could you please elaborate on the qualities and characteristics of the Yuga avatar? He is trying to get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to eventually say, yes, I am that Yuga avatar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not fall into that trap. He went and said, well, one should understand the Yuga avatars according to the descriptions given in the revealed scriptures. And he said a few other things. And then Sanatan Goswami continued his trick and his effort to try to get Mahaprabhu to admit that he was that Yuga avatar. And he said that there are the characteristics of the Supreme Personality are that Pita Varna Karya Premadana Sankirtana. So he has a dress made of, his Pita Varna means yellow or golden complexioned, and his karya or his activities are Prema, Dana and Sankirtan. So this specific Yuga avatar has a complexion of gold or yellow, and his activities are twofold. He gives Prema, Krishna Prema, and he does Sankirtan. So could you please confirm this? So Mahaprabhu does not confirm it. But Srila Prabhupada says that just by keeping quiet, Mahaprabhu rendered his acceptance of what Sanatan says. Maunam sammati lakshanam. There is a proverb in Sanskrit that silence sometimes indicates your assent or you saying yes to something. Suppose somebody asks us, "Did you say such a thing?" And I keep quiet. If I didn't say it, I should say, "No, I didn't say it." But I keep quiet. That means I said it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very covertly admitted that he is the Yuga avatar. Similarly with Haridas Thakur also. Mahaprabhu deliberately asked Haridas Thakur one time, there are so many living entities in this universe, the trees, the plants, the insects. So Haridas, how will they be delivered? And Haridas said, my dear Lord, when you chant the holy names of the Lord, all these living entities are automatically delivered. When you do the Sankirtan here, there is an echo. Well, actually it is not an echo because it is these conscious and even unconscious living entities, moving and non-moving living entities, who are also responding to your Sankirtan and themselves chanting the holy names. And therefore they are all getting delivered. When you appeared as Lord Ram, you had delivered the whole of Ayodhya and sent them back to Saket, to the spiritual world. Similarly, as Krishna also you have delivered, and now you have come to deliver. So, by your mercy, all these living entities will be delivered. And this I know as a fact from the pastime of Vasudev Datta. Because Vasudev Datta had made the plea to Mahaprabhu that let me accept the sins of all the conditioned living entities and deliver them and let me go to hell with the burden of the sins of the living entities. And Mahaprabhu had said, this is a very noble thought. There is no reason for you to go to hell, but because you desire it and you are a pure devotee of Krishna, Krishna will fulfill your desire and he will deliver everyone in the universe. So Mahaprabhu actually did that. But Haridas Thakur said, but then again, those living entities who were not in a manifest state, they also started manifesting, just like it happened in Ayodhya, it happened in Mathura and Vrindavan, and also it's happening now in the universe. So now I have understood that it is you who have delivered and you are the Supreme Lord. Of course, Mahaprabhu did not accept it. And Kaviraj Goswami says, Ishvara Svabhava Aishwarya Chahe Achadite Bhakta Thani Lukaite Nare Hoite Vidite. He says the nature of the Supreme Lord, Ishvara Svabhav, is that Aishwarya Chahe Achadite. He wants to hide his Aishwarya or opulence. But Bhakta Thani, but in front of his devotee, Lukaite Nare, he is not able to hide his opulences and his identity as a Supreme Lord. Hoite Vidite, this is well known to everybody. Which means in the presence of the devotees, the Lord cannot disguise himself anymore. His real nature is revealed beyond the disguise that he has taken. So, this is the background that Kaviraj Goswami is building up before he is going to describe the external reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. It is past 9 o'clock, so we will stop here, I think. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. questions and get late for prasadam for everybody. Yes, Maharaj. Mic, please.
You are mentioning Lord is Trijugi. He appeared in three Juga, but in Gita is mentioning Sambhavami Juge Juge. I'm comes every millenniums. So there is some contradictory. He Trijugi also, but he come in this age also. How you can understand?
So Maharaj is asking the question. In Bhagavad-gita, Krishna says, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. He comes in every age. And here in the Bhagavatam, we see that he is called Triyugi. That means he appears in 3 ages. So Prahlad Maharaj has clarified this by saying that he actually appears in the 4th age of Kali also. But it is a hidden form. Channa avatar, disguised form. So therefore he appears in all 4 ages. The only difference is that in Kali, it is a hidden form. And specifically in this age, in this particular day of Brahma, in this 28th Chaturyuga of the 7th Manu, it is the avatari Krishna as Gauranga Mahaprabhu who has appeared as a Yuga avatar in Kali Yuga. Otherwise, it is another form of Vishnu or Krishna who appears as a Yuga avatar. He is also golden complexioned. He may also do Nama Sankirtan. But this particular avatar is very special because all others give devotion to God in the mood of Vaikuntha. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he becomes the golden avatar or the yellow avatar, the Channa avatar, then he gives love for Vrindavan. So therefore, this Kali Yuga, amongst all the Kali Yugas, is called Dhanya Kali. Dhanya Kali because this Kali is now glorious. Because this special form of the Lord has appeared in this age. Okay?
Kalki avatar is also Channa.
Is Kalki avatar Channa? Well, Srila Prabhupada explains that when Kalki comes, people will not be in a position to receive any preaching. So all this dharma sansthapanarthaya and speaking like Bhagavad-gita, like Krishna did, people will not be in a condition to hear such things. So Prabhupada says he will do only one thing. He will kill with his sword. He will kill everybody. So in that sense, he may not be Channa. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Radha Rasa Bihari ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.